Let's talk about what it really means to be smart. Today, we're diving into a modern theory that completely flipped our understanding of intelligence upside down. And then we're going to see how these new ideas have some seriously surprising echoes in the ancient texts of the Quran. So let me just ask you this. What makes a person smart? For the longest time, the answers seemed pretty simple. It all came down to a single number, your IQ score. But what if that's not even close to the whole story?
I mean, think about it. This one number has shaped so much of our world, especially in schools. A high score meant you were smart, a low score, well, it meant you weren't. But that view is just incredibly narrow, and it might be overlooking the genius that's actually inside all of us. So let's unpack why that old way of thinking is so limiting.
All right, so first up, let's dig into the problem with this old one-size-fits-all model of intelligence. Here's the thing. When your entire education system is built around hitting certain IQ standards, it's naturally going to favor skills in, language and logic. And the results? We risk completely stifling the potential of students whose brilliance lies somewhere else, in art, in movement, in understanding other people. But then, in 1983, a totally revolutionary new framework came along and challenged that entire way of thinking. This was a huge deal, you guys. It was pushing back against almost 100 years of testing that tried to boil something as complex as intelligence down to just one number. Let's see how this new way of thinking really opens things up. So, a psychologist named Howard Gardner came up with the theory of multiple intelligences. He basically argued that intelligence isn't this one single thing that you either have a lot of or a little of. No. Instead, he said it's a set of different, distinct abilities that let us solve problems or, create things that are actually valued in our culture. And he identified 9 of them. You can see them all right here. You might be word smart, or number smart, or maybe you're body smart, people smart, or nature smart. Gardner's theory just blew the doors wide open for seeing intelligence in all its diverse and, frankly, beautiful forms. Now, here's where it gets really fascinating. While Gardner's theory was totally groundbreaking for modern psychology, the idea that we all have a wide range of talents, well, that idea has much, much older roots, and we can find some absolutely incredible parallels in the Quran. And this really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. What if this modern framework for understanding who we are and what we're capable of has echoes in ancient scripture? Let's explore that perspective. The one found right inside the Quran. Okay, so right off the bat, there's a really interesting distinction. See, Gardner sees intelligence as a potential that we can develop over time, but the Quranic view frames these abilities a little differently, as innate gifts, things that have been present in humans from the very beginning. It's a subtle difference, but it's a really powerful shift in perspective. So let's take a look at a few of these intelligences and see the parallels that scholars have found in verses from the Quran. Now, we can't get to all 9, but we've picked out 4 that show these connections in a really vivid way. First up is linguistic intelligence. This is what we often call being word smart. It's the ability to use language really effectively, whether you're speaking, writing, or trying to persuade someone. The source material connects this to a foundational story in the Quran where God teaches Adam the names of all things. I mean, that act right there establishes language, the ability to name things, to categorize them, and to understand the world through words as a primary, divinely given human skill. Next up, we've got bodily kinesthetic intelligence. This is all about thinking and learning through physical movement. It's the wisdom of the body. Think of great athletes, dancers, surgeons, or even craftspeople. This slide shows such a powerful story that illustrates this concept. In the Quran, after one of Adam's sons, Qabil, kills his brother, he has absolutely no idea what to do with the body. So then, as you see in step 2, God sends a crow that starts digging in the ground, showing him exactly how to make a grave. And in that last step, Qabil learns this essential ritual. Not from a lecture, not from a book, but by imitating the crow's physical actions. It's just a profound example of learning by doing. Okay, let's move on to interpersonal intelligence, or what you might call being people smart. This is that ability to really understand others, to get a sense of their motivations and moods, and to communicate and work with them effectively. Interpreters often point to this verse from Surah Al-Hujurat as a cornerstone of this idea. It frames all of human diversity, our different peoples and tribes, not as something that should cause conflict, but as an intentional design so that we might get to know one another. It puts social understanding right at the very heart of being human.
And finally, for our last example, let's look at naturalist intelligence. This is that sensitivity to the patterns and systems of the natural world, that ability to recognize and classify plants and animals and even the rocks beneath our feet. The Quran repeatedly, over and over, encourages us to reflect on the natural world. This verse here points to the creation of the heavens and the earth as holding signs for those of understanding. It's basically saying that observing and really comprehending nature is a pathway to deeper knowledge.
So after all that, what do we take away from bringing these two perspectives together? What does looking through this new lens really offer us? Well, it reinforces this incredibly powerful idea. There isn't just one way to be smart. There are at least 9 distinct talents, and from this Quranic perspective, these aren't just talents, they're unique gifts. And that's the crucial point right there. Merging these two views helps us completely reframe human ability. A talent isn't just a skill we happen to be good at. It can be seen as an innate gift, something that has intrinsic value, given to each and every one of us. And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. How would our schools, our workplaces, our entire communities, and even our relationships change if we truly saw every single person's unique intelligence not just as a skill, but as a valuable, even sacred gift?